Assalamu alaikum. This is Karishma Meher Khan. My ID is 17301101. I'm going to explain the Arduino code. In the beginning, we have created an object named servo to control it, and then we have taken some variables such as flame, space sensor, smoke sensor, red light, green light, buzzer, and temp, and set some values to them. The setup function is to initialize the variables that we have taken and to initialize the pin mode. This function will only run once after each power off or reset of the Arduino board. The pin mode function configures a pin as either an input or output. Here we have taken the flame sensor, smoke sensor, and temp as input, red light, green light, buzzer as output. The serial begin function is to use to set the data for serial data transmission. Here we have taken two more functions. In the loop, we have taken some variables to read data. We have put some condition to make the code voidable. Digital write is to enable the internal pull-up whether it is high or low. Then the serial print is to in the output. Temperature pad is used for detecting the temperature. Now I am going to compile the code and it runs perfectly.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sazzad Sabab. I am now going to talk about Proteus simulation for our project. Before starting the simulation, let's talk about the sensors we use in the project and output peripherals. First of all, flame sensor. Flame sensor is an IR-based sensor and uses the infrared flame flash method to sense electromagnetic radiation emitting from the fire and detects the fire. It gives Boolean digital output. If there is fire, it detects and gives 1 in the output, and otherwise it gives 0. Then the gas sensor is basically a metal oxide semiconductor or a chemiresistor that can sense gas and intensity of the gas based on the change of resistance of the sensing material. There is a sensing material attached to it, and if there is a gas, it can sense it and change the resistance. Now let's talk about the temperature sensor LM35. LM35 is a commonly used temperature sensor. It instantaneously senses temperature changes and provides analog data as a voltage difference. We can get centigrade and Fahrenheit from it with some external calculation. Now we have two lights, red and green. Red for when there is a emergency and a fire breakout, and green is for the normal situations. We use the rotational motor for water sparkling from the above side in the fire area, and a buzzer for auditory alert. Let's start the simulation now. You can see in a virtual terminal, in the first number is the temperature, and the second one is the Boolean value of a flame sensor, and the third number is from the gas sensor. And if flame is detected, it provides a Boolean signal. If we start it, see there is a 1 and the red light is emitting, and also buzzer is buzzing and the rotational motor is moving. This thing also happen if the gas sensor detects any anomaly. Let's start it. Same. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Sazzad Bhuiyan. Now I'll be explaining the block diagram of our project. First, we took a while loop so that this process will iterate after a certain amount of time. Visa resource has been added to select the COM port. After that, create buffer and open block has been added. Inside the while loop, we took 3 string readers as we have used 3 sensors. These string readers will take the input from the sensors. Then there is a flash buffer and a close block. Simple error handler has been added so that it can handle any errors. There is also a time delay function of 500 millisecond which will help the while loop to iterate every 500 millisecond. The first string reader will take input from our temperature sensor. It is added to a converter which converts the string value to a numerical value. The numerical sensor value is transferred to chart and indicator to plot it and display it. String reader will take input from flame sensor. Also has been added with a converter. Then the value passes through a comparator, which will check if the value is 0 or 1. After that, the value will be transferred to a LED light, a chart and an indicator to represent the values. The third string reader will also do the same activity. It will take input from gas sensor. Flame value and the smoke value are also connected to a OR gate. If any of the sensor value is 1, then the fire indicator LED will turn on. These three string readers have also been added to an array so that their value can be recorded in a table. There are also time and date blocks to record the time and dates. The array constant and string constant will help table control to record the data. This is all about the block diagram of our project. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Irfana Afifa. I'm going to explain the front panel of our project. In the front panel, we have virtual COM port for selecting the port, smoke fire indicator light and fire alert. When the light is active, it will give us a red signal. Then we have meter and graphs for temperature, smoke and fire reading. All the value receiving the Arduino is going to display on this meter and graphs. Beside the data will be stored into the output table. Let's look at the simulation now. Smoke and fire indicators are green because the value of smoke and fire sensors are giving 0 as output. We are having 27 as the output of temperature sensor. We can see it on the temp and graph and the temperature meter. And the output of smoke and fire sensor is 0, which is being displayed into the smoke and fire graph and meters. Now let's make the smoke indicator 1. As the smoke indicator is giving output 1, the smoke indicator LED is red and the fire alert has been raised. We can see the reading of the smoke graph and smoke sensor is 1. The reading has been stored into the table. Now let's make the smoke indicator 0 and fire indicator 1. As the smoke sensor is giving output 0 and the fire sensor is giving output 1, the smoke indicator LED is green and the fire indicator LED is red. In addition, the fire alert has been raised. We can see the reading of the smoke graph and smoke sensor is 0 and the reading of the fire graph and fire sensor is 1. This reading has been stored into the table. Now let's make both sensor 1. We can see the both fire and smoke indicator is red and the fire indicator has been raised. Also, the reading of the both fire and smoke graphs and meter is 1. This reading has been stored into the table. That's all from me. Thank you.